Welcome to our newest video from Middle-earth. This time we'll be focusing on the east of the so-called civilized regions. Understand, regions between Mirkwood, Iron Hills and Mordor. This time it will be Sauron taking the initiative, exploring and possibly exploiting the opportunities he has in order to get this land under his rule. His chosen tool is Uvatha the Horseman, the Ninth Nazgul and his messenger. By the way, if you want to know more of Uvatha's origins and deeds, we have a short video about him, the link to which you can find below in the description. But back to today's topic. Like last time, let's begin with some historical background. It's late in the Third Age, and Smaug, the long dependable guardian of the north, is dead. Instead of his fearsome rule, the dwarves are again prosperous in the Lonely Mountain. Dale is rebuilt and becoming strong again, as well as the lake town, getting rich from trade, not the least with the hated elves of the woodland realm. That does not bode well for Sauron's plan of conquest. In his strategy, this is just a side theater, but one he must not leave uncared for if he wants to destroy the free peoples in the west. What are his resources and preferable outcomes regarding the people there? He has 3 ring wraiths in Dol Guldur, and he chooses Uvatha, who suits best for this task, to take his Easterling servants and find out if the dwarfs and men could be persuaded or bribed to join his cause, or at least remain neutral, until the fall of Gondor enables the full might of Mordor to fall upon them. His quest will decide a future action, and that is where we stand. Before we start, let's go quickly through the rules. We are playing the 2-deck game of Middle-earth collectible card game. The deck can contain between 30 to 50 resources, an equal number of hazards. There is 12 creature minimum, while dragon, long and permanent events count as half of the creature each. Agents will be played as characters, only they need to be brought into play at their home site. And also, we will use a sideboard of 25 cards. Now, when we have that out of the way, let's begin. At first, we'll have a look at the sites and regions where our quest takes us. When you look at the map, it's nearly a quarter of Middle-earth, but there are only a few sites to be visited in this vast country, and it's mostly wilderness. Therefore, we have to be prepared for deep wilderness creatures, as well as possibility to encounter some dragons a hunt, because these lands are part of their hunting ground if Doors of Night are in play. So the movement here can be a challenge. On the other hand, the free peoples are weak here, and we won't be provoking neither Ironhill dwarfs nor the wood elves of Mirkwood, as their willingness to join our master is doubtful at least. The focus is on border holds, where we could turn the undecided people the easiest, and the danger to our company is low. Now what are we starting with? We can begin our journey in Minas Morgul or Dol Guldur. It depends on what you like more. More accurate would be probably Dol Guldur, but it does not matter much. The starting company consists of men from the region, which enables them to act secretly. We have Laios, Dasakun, Nevidosmöt, Eradan and Roshesnef. Therefore, our company is covered for the case of playing hazards and some automatic attacks. As a minor item, we have Sawtoothed Blade and open to the summons permanent event instead of the second one. The first organization phase goes like this. We need open to the summons for Dasakun in order for him to be playable in the starting company. Laios takes Sawtoothed Blade and influences Roshesnef. We can do no more and have just 3 points of unused general influence. But don't worry, that can change very quickly. Let's have a look at the deck itself. Firstly, the characters we can draw and get into play. 2 copies of Uvatha, our ring wraith, goes without saying. Don't forget his special ability if he is in the Dark Heaven. It's very useful to get back useful resources. The core of the characters are agents. We are secretly infiltrating the northern settlements after all. The only standard characters we have are 2 copies of Horseman in the Night and Luitprand. There are also 2 renegades, Dwarf, Foray the Birdless, and Elven Maiden Nimrod. Bring them into play wisely, as each can help you cancelling attacks at his home site, and you may need some skills more than others. On the other hand, if your opponent plays the right hazards, You may be glad to have every single character you draw. Now, to what resources we'll be trying to get into play. This deck does not have too many points to be had, so every single point is important. On the other hand, you should not have too much trouble playing them, maybe with the exception of the Lonely Mountain visit. We have two allies here, Werewolf and Black Horse. Black Horse is there because if we lose our company, it will be upon Uvatha to get all those resources into play himself. Two main factions, Easterlings and Corsairs of Rune, represent the peoples under our command. High Helm, Black Mace, and Broad-Headed Spear increase the fighting power of our group, as well as the Reviled Ring, when we get that into play after testing the Gleaming Gold Ring, using the Secrets of their Forging card. And finally, Necklace of Girion helps us influence our main characters and factions. The names among them is an easily playable permanent event to get some points. Weapon, the Blazon of the Eye, helps us bring in factions and shows our allegiance to Sauron. The rest of the resource events in the deck is a mix of attack cancelling cards, because we'll be traveling in the dragon-infested lands where our covered status is of no help whatsoever, and fighting power increasing cards, for use when we decide to stand and fight. Skies on Fire with Voices of Malice are our defense against 100 dragons as well. Bait to Rule helps increase our protection against Master Disperse's card. And finally, there is one influence enhancing card for every faction we are bound to play. When we have a look where we'll be playing each resource, you can see it's pretty straightforward, with both factions using influencing cards at their home sites. The three major items can easily switch the sides without any problem. We have two sides where informations are playable. I recommend keeping Mount Doom untapped until you have Werewolf as well as the Secrets of their Forging ready in hand, and use Lake Town for the other cards instead. There is no other place to play a point-giving ally than Mount Doom. I don't need to mention that with just one point-giving ally, you should protect it and play Werewolf with a character who is not traveling much. Maybe some Sage to sit in a heaven and play Voices of Malice. Most challenging trip is the one to the Lonely Mountain for the Necklace of Girion and Black Mace together. Not only you need to keep these cards in hand until you have both, you should also have at least some attack cancelling card before you start the journey. There is no trip of more importance than this one. The good news is that we have nearly as many points in a sideboard as we have in the original deck. So tap Uvatha early and get the resources into the discard pile, from where you can get them directly into the play deck, using Uvatha's special ability. Like this, you can easily play both of the werewolves during a single visit to Mount Doom, and multiply the names among them while visiting Lake Town. Piercing all shadows is useful when your opponent uses road blocking strategy. By the Ringwraith's word creates a leader with 4 more points of direct influence, and Ancient Secret is great to have against permanent events your opponent plays. Not to mention Uvatha can recycle it all game long. The rest are 2 more factions, Broad-Headed Spear and Black Mailcoats, Magic Ring of Savagery for the second cycle of the Gleaming Gold Ring, and the Arkenstone for a second visit to the Lonely Mountain. Sudden Call can wait till the end of the first turn of the deck, or even well into the second, when Uvatha again brings it back when you need it. The sides we will use in the second deck round are the same as is the first one. Again, we have 2 factions of Easterling tribes and a werewolf together with the Secrets of their Forging to be played at Mount Doom. For Gleaming Gold Ring, we will go to Dale and steal the Arkenstone from the Lonely Mountain. Lake Town is for permanents requiring information side. For the 3 major items, we have 3 different sides, and you can choose whichever you like best in your current situation and time. When you feel you are in a stronger position, play the Sudden Call card and let Sauron evaluate your deeds. There is no need to risk more than necessary. Good luck. Now, when the resource side of the deck is finished, let's have a look at the hazards. For today, I have chosen drakes to be our creature type. You heard well, drakes, not dragons, as different ways of playing dragons will be discussed in the future with different decks. But back to the drakes. As you know, these creatures are probably the strongest non-unique creatures available. On the other hand, the higher individual strength, the harder it is usually to play the creature. So we have to choose well which creature to hold and which discard. You won't be able to strike every turn, but when you do, it will most definitely hurt. You will probably find out early where your opponent plans to travel, and so just discard the ones you won't be using. Multiple wildernesses are usually needed, with the exception of land and light drakes, and many a ring raid player curses your choice when he is attacked by a wild fell beast or winged fire drake on his otherwise safe trips through Shadowlands. The one creature I would recommend to keep and use if possible is Werewurm. He chooses his target and forces your opponent to discard an item. You can imagine how effective that could be. And if you tap Warmurath, thus giving him one more strike, well, a job well done. Non-creature hazards in this deck are all selected to maximize the drake's usage. Doors of Night and Withered Lands increase the chance we'll be able to attack the opponent, whereupon from the Pits of Angband and an unexpected outpost, recycle and rotate the most useful hazards we have. Dragon's Blood, Breath and Terror make each of our attacks a real nightmare. Summons from Long Sleep card is maybe the most useful of the cards we have. It allows you to put creature out of your hand and keep it visible for your opponent until you decide to attack with it. Well, he has a chance to prepare for what is coming. On the other hand, it definitely makes him think twice before venturing somewhere where he could be attacked. And have you noticed that the Drake will have his prowess increased by 2? When you see you won't be able to strike with the hazards you have, decrease your opponent's hazard limit freely by half and bring some of the hazards from the sideboard into the discard pile. From there you can take them by aforementioned Unexpected Outpost card and from the Pits of Angband card. There are 5 creatures and 5 events in the sideboard. I would recommend to bring all the hazard events into the deck, as those are very useful. Regarding the creatures, bring only those you know you will use. For example, the Sea Serpent and Sandrake are completely useless against opponent playing in the north of the map, whereupon the true Cold Drake won't make sense when your opponent musters armies in Gondor. And that is the end for today. If you liked the video, please give us a thumb up, and if you consider subscribing, we would be very grateful, as both these actions take just a second to do, while helping a lot this channel to grow. And next time, we will have a look at Radagast, the friend of plant and beast alike. See you next time.